are not able to access the limited medical intervention that is even still available. So it's bad enough that we don't have enough facility and enough personnel, but also is that what is even available is not accessible by many Nigerians. So the Obomi Medical Outreach is targeted specifically at those kind of people who are not even able to access the grossly inadequate intervention that is available in our nation today. And since inception in 2019, we've seen, all kinds of needs being met. I don't want to bore you with the stats about the amount of intervention that has been done. We'll put information at your disposal so that you can go through it. It's in infographics. You are able to see what the impact has been like in the last 5 years. But I can categorically say that we've had over 20,000 medical interventions from all of our outreaches in the last 4 years. Now, this year, making it 5 years. And there are many more breakdown of this. Over 1,500 eyeglasses have been given out. From the video that we've watched, you see that even in the areas that are not life-threatening, like dental interventions, or what people will normally even refer to as luxury, which is maybe somebody has a huge gap or they've lost their dental composition, and it reduces their self-esteem or their capacity to interact, with confidence with people. We can't estimate the impact when somebody's esteem is restored and how effective they can be on their job. So from very life-threatening situations that will require surgery to things that give finesse and aesthetics so that people's sense of esteem can be restored. These are the broad spectrum of things that we focus on. Health education, people being able to, to take tests that reveal what they're dealing with, and then, surgeries that are the other deep end of our intervention. We recorded hundreds of surgeries over the years, and we're also grateful to God that we have not been able, we have not recorded any mortality in our medical interventions, even from everyone who's gone through surgery through our intervention. We're grateful to God, the giver of life, for that. Thank you. This year, we're looking forward to being able to stretch our interventions. I will allow the Executive Director, Mr. Leonard Thomas, to say one or two things about what we're looking at practically this year. But one thing that we're sure of is that we are well organized to cater to everyone that will show up. By the way, we make broad announcements and people show up from within and outside of our city. In time past, we've had people come as far as Eastern Nigeria, from the Middle Belt, or from different parts of the country to participate. It's a week-long event spanning from Monday usually to Saturday. And we have post-event issues that we also have to deal with like post-op care and also people that were not able to fit into the outreach, but we look for other opportunities to help them resolve their issues even post our event. At this point, I would allow Mr. Leonard Thomas to just say one or two things about this year's event that starts out this Monday.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, gentlemen of the press. I want to once again welcome everyone to the Ubomi 2024 Medical Outreach Press Conference. Right. Very quickly, in terms of this year's focus, the Ubomi Medical and Surgical Outreach is billed to start from the 30th of September to the 4th of October. It's, like Mr. Godman Akinlabi said earlier, it's a 5-day program spanning that's about a week. However, the program doesn't end, the project doesn't end there, right? Because there are persons who will undergo surgery and require post-op care. So we're set up to also cater to those kind of situations. 1 week after the surgeries, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and the foundation also monitors persons who undergo whatever medical interventions that they have gone through throughout that entire 1 week, right? Additionally, in terms of numbers, the target for this year is to be able to cater to 5,000 persons within the space of 1 week, right? In the past, as you probably may have seen in the video that was played earlier, we have been able to, let me just mention last year, for example, where we're able to almost reach the 4,000 mark. We had targeted last year to reach about 4,000 persons, right? This year, we're going the extra mile to cater to about 5,000 persons. We're very mindful of the situation of the brain drain in the country, as well as the situation in the healthcare space as we know it today. In terms of gaps, Mr. Akinlabi had rightly talked about those gaps. I will just mention one, for example. Just in addition, that this year, data shows us, I think it was earlier in the year, the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria came out with statistics saying that the Lagos State particularly has just about close to, in fact, less than 8,000 medical doctors. And when you look at the statistics in terms of the population in Lagos alone, where, if I'm not mistaken, we are over 30 million in numbers, right? And you can do the maths, and that gives you insight into the situation that we're dealing with as a nation. But this is Lagos, and Lagos State has the highest numbers of medical practitioners in the country, after which you now have Abuja, right? But having said all of that, the Ubomi Medical Outreach is set up to bridge these gaps. We are also planning to cater to a number of, specific surgeries, dental surgeries, eye surgeries. We'll also give out free eyeglasses. We'll also be addressing issues, like fibroid cases. Our technical partners are here. They will also speak more to that. That's Pro Health International, and give some detail as to, the kind of deeper cases we'll be addressing during this year's medical intervention. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Thomas, Mr. Leonard F. Thomas. We will also take comments from Dr. Femi Owagbemi, who is a representative of ProHealth, a key partner of Ubomi. And shortly after that, in the next 5 to 6 minutes, we'll take comments also from Ms. Sowari, and in that order. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. I represent ProHealth International, the technical partner for this Ubomi outreach, providing the medical support for the program. The way we look at this kind of mission is almost like bringing a hospital to the community. In the short-term medical mission, we see patients that have general ailments that need treatment, malaria, infections, and the likes. But during that process, we also identified those that need surgical interventions and then send them to the surgical team where they are screened and then prepared for the surgeries. And that's for surgeries that can be done at the mission. So these surgeries include, well, some of them have been mentioned, removal of fibroids, treatment of lumps or swellings in the body, hernias, and the likes. So those are the kinds of surgeries, just to mention a few, that we'll be handling during the mission. Some patients will just be treated and get medication, all of this free of charge as well. So there is a pharmacy that comes with medications, a wide variety of them that will be required, both for those that need just treatment with medication and those that will also be used during surgeries. We also have the eye surgery section, but before that, people can get their eyes tested, know their visual acuity, get glasses for those that need glasses, and then those that have visual impairments that require surgery, like cataracts, can then get cataract surgeries done during the mission. The dental team will do basic general dentistry, diagnosis, cleaning, and all of that. And then for those that have missing teeth, they can get dentures. And then those that need actual dental surgery, those procedures can also be done at these missions, or at this mission, like we have done in the past missions. We also come with a laboratory and equipment for testing. So, laboratory diagnosis is part of the process of healthcare management. And so we are able to identify common ailments like malaria, infections, and so on. But also where blood needs to be taken so that people that need blood transfusion, the blood is tested appropriately and all of those things. So we pretty much do what we would do in a standard hospital in our missions. And I think I've spoken about most of the departments that we'll be bringing for this mission. And the rest of it will come when I answer questions that I get. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for taking out time to join us in this press conference. My name is Suwari Akosionu. I lead the partnerships team in PISTIS Foundation. And thank you for everyone who's said something here. I think the one thing that has struck me here is a figure that Mr. Akinlabi just mentioned, which is that only 1 in 10,000, we have one doctor for 10,000 people. I think we need to reflect on that and what that means for us as a country, where citizens don't have access. Now, it gets even worse. Now, the one person who has, the one doctor who is available to 10,000, the people that we cater for at Ubomi are not part of that statistics. They literally cannot afford it. And that's why it's important, the work that we do in terms of partnerships with organizations, well-meaning philanthropists is really, really important. Because for us to do this at scale, we can't go alone. It's collaborative efforts, it's reaching out with these types of numbers to organizations who may want to help but are not aware. And I think that's where it's important for us. And I think that the press is part of this mission and this journey. We need to put our money where our mouth is, which is there's a major, major deficit in Nigeria. And the change will start from us as individuals, as organizations, and as just people who want to create impact in their immediate environment. Again, I'll take more questions when we get into the session, but thank you very much again for joining us today. It's really good to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. That was a very short and concise representation of the work of Ubomi, providing critical health care services to people who need it critically but are unable to afford it. I'll also take some comments from Mr. Paul Omogbai. I didn't introduce him earlier, so welcome to the ITB in 5 minutes. Let's have your thoughts to what to expect from Ubomi this year.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're so delighted to have each and every one of you join us. The importance of Ugbo medical outreach cannot be overemphasized, given the fact that we have seen a lot of downturn in investment in not only health, education, and a whole lot of other social sectors by governments, not only in Nigeria, but across the globe. You can see that if you follow the news, even in the UK, there's a lot of discussion about access to healthcare and the funding of medical care. Of course, the same thing goes for a lot of North American countries and the rest of them. So we see the impact that NGOs and the social partners have really done in terms of bridging the gap to close the gap regarding access, not just to health, but also to critical services like education and the rest of them for the bottom of the pyramid people. A whole lot of populations are neglected. So the issues of exclusion is what Ugbomi serves to address with Ugbomi medical outreach. A whole lot of people no longer have access to medical care, education, and the rest of them, given the fact that the economic recession we're experiencing in Nigeria today is making it really difficult for people to feed, talk less of afford other things that they need for livelihood. So Ugbomi is really important because it closes that gap. A lot of people who ordinarily will not be able to access healthcare are able to get quality healthcare. And beyond being able to access quality healthcare, you find out that they are also helped to increase their productivity once they are healthy. So Ugbomi comes in at a time when a whole lot of people can no longer work because they are faced with critical illness which they cannot afford to even take care of. I was listening to an Arise program yesterday where they did a detailed survey about the cost of drugs in Nigeria today. How we have experienced over 300% increase in critical drugs for diseases such as asthma, high blood pressure, diabetes, and the rest of them. And when you consider all of these kind of scenarios, who are the people who suffer the most? The underserved. The people who are at the bottom of the pyramid, people who are at the low income levels. So these populations are usually neglected, even in planning by governments. A whole lot of them are not factored into, the planning numbers. For example, the budget for healthcare this year is just about 4.6. And the Abuja Declaration recommends 15% investment in healthcare to be able to just move the needle in that sector. So if we have such low budgetary allocations to health, and then we expect that people are going to be able to access healthcare, quality healthcare, education, and the rest of them, of course, that's already a mirage because it's not going to happen because the investments are just not going into the sectors where they are needed. Of course, let's not go into the issues bedeviling our country in terms of low investment in other critical sectors. So Ugbomi has come at a time where people really need to have access to health, well-being, and to be cared for. So that's what Ugbomi has come to do, and we expect that this intervention will also at least be able to address those issues that people are really faced with now. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. And if you agree with me, that comment really brings the vital work of Ugbomi home and, shedding light on how critical it is with the work that is done in the foundation. Before I take comments from Mary Omange, I want to quickly enjoin the gentlemen of the press joining us online to keep the questions coming in. We're monitoring that, and we'll take your questions as well. Thank you. So, Mary, 5 minutes, and let's have your comment. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Miriam Mange, and I'm the Programs Manager for Partnerships Engagement at PISTIS Foundation. I'll thank you all for joining and for coming here today to witness this press conference for Ubomi 2024. And I would just like to speak as regards PISTIS Foundation. For PISTIS Foundation, this is a project that is very, very dear to us because it addresses a very, very critical need for everyone. Not just we here, but even for our relatives, our friends, everyone that we know needs one intervention, one way or the other, in terms of their health. And for PISTIS Foundation, it's important that we build a legacy. So for us, we are building a legacy that will stand the test of time. We've started this initiative for 4 to 5 years, and this is the 5th edition. And we have grown in impact, right? We've grown in that impact, through that impact. And this year, we've scaled up to 5,000 people, which we believe that would even exceed that target. But the most important thing to note is that people need our help, and we are providing it for them. People need our help, and we are providing it for them. And one thing that also stands out for us is that we are not just focused on a sect of people. We are focused on all demography. Whether you are a boy or a male child, a female child, a mother, a father, grandfather, the elderly, they are all open to come for this initiative, right? And it's a free access to all, which is one of a kind because we have very few organizations who actually have this sort of outreaches or sort of engagements. It's not just the medical aspect, but also the surgical aspect, right? And it's important to note that it's a very good initiative that requires not just our input, but every other input in terms of other organizations will need support to ensure that this initiative is not just in Lagos, but in other locations, right? In Ogun State, in Delta State, even in the northern states, they need this initiative as well. So this press conference is not just about this initiative, but also about pushing the narrative across board so that we can have access to more communities as well as make impact to other communities as well. And we are also addressing a very critical need in the SDGs, which is the number 3 SDG, which is to promote healthcare, to promote the health and well-being of people. And this is very, very important. This might just seem as if it's a tiny drop in the bucket, but it's really, really more than that, and it's really, really making that impact. Thank you all once more, and I'm always free to share my input where necessary during the question and answer session. Thank you.
Great one, great one. A round of applause, please. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, to build a prosperous and a wealthy nation, we need elderly people. And we also need people who are able to bring quality health care to those who are unable to afford it. And this is the gap that Ubomi looks to fill, bringing healing, health, and even hope to people who are unable to get quality health care. So you've heard it. So now we have the opportunity to take questions. Are there anything in your mind that have not been addressed in the presentation so far? Or are there issues that you want clarity on? We have the floor now to ask our questions. Do we have a mic? Oh, okay. Okay, yes. So the floor is open for questions. So let them come in. Thank you very much. Okay. You need to. I think there's a button. There's a button up here. Can you hear me? See the button up here? Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Labake Fashobon from This Day newspaper. So my question is, what are the selection criteria for some of these people? And how do you get to access those that actually need this service? Or how do they reach you? Let me put it that way. And then you mentioned earlier that the program is taking place across the countries or selected states in the country.
No. What I said was that people come from different places.
Okay.
So our call lines, are open. So people call.
Okay.
And some of them, even we engage them before they come, especially people with critical cases,
Okay.
to be able to let them know, okay, maybe take this test and that test, send it to us, and then we can get you to come. And some of them will help even with their coming, if the case is that critical, and we extend more help. We get reports about, oh, this person is even finding it difficult to reach where we are. How can we help to get them to come? Some people are already, people who are used to Ubomi medical outreach, sometimes even come days before. Like this week now, people who are from far places are already arriving, who have relatives in Lagos. Yeah, because for now, the outreach itself holds in Lagos.
Okay.
But people come from different places. But I know that's not all your question. We can take the rest, and if you have more.
And then ordinarily, the fact that the program has an affiliation with a church, one would have thought, oh, it's a Christian affiliated program. So I'm going to ask, does this cover only Christian only, or it's for both populations?
Not at all. The program itself does not have, how would I put it, does not have a serious affiliation with the church. The church is a partner to the organization, which is PISTIS Foundation. The church is a major partner. The church is a funder. It's part of the funding partners of PISTIS Foundation, but the program is not a church event. It's a philanthropic effort of the foundation. So there's no discrimination as to who can come for. The truth is that 90% of people who get, or more than that, maybe 95% of people who get the intervention are people that are not connected to the church in any way. And we don't ask for your religion before we attend to you. Everybody just comes. Yeah, everybody just comes. I don't know if you...
Yeah, if I may. So at PISTIS Foundation, you're first a human being before you're a Christian or a Muslim or whatever, right? As long as you have a medical need, our gates are open, you come in and you get the help that you need. There's no criteria, there are no check boxes that you need to tick. If you need medical help, you come here on Monday, there will be doctors on ground, support staff on ground to attend to your needs. Everyone is first a human being before you have whatever religious affiliation. So that is really, really important to us. There's no discrimination. You come in for help, you get the help that you need. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. There you have it. Ubomi is open to all and also free to all. So we'll welcome in more questions. All right. And please just state your name and the media house you represent. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Anthony. I work with Business Day newspaper. First, I must commend Ubomi and PISTIS Foundation for this landmark thing you guys are doing, because I know funding health is very, very expensive, and the life that you've been impacted. Last time was about 4,000 people. Now you're looking at 5,000. I want to ask, funding. How did you get funding for this? Because it's huge. And in the last 5 years, what has been the impact? Thank you.
All right. As the chair of the trustees board of PISTIS Foundation, I'll tell you categorically that funding for not just medical outreach, but all of our efforts, our shelter, our scholarship scheme, and all the things we do across education, health, and shelter, funding comes mainly from our partners. Yeah, it's completely non-governmental. We have no governmental affiliation. We don't have any politically exposed person involved with our effort. As the chair of the board, I'm not a politician. I'm primarily a pastor and a leadership consultant. So the church that I pastor is a major funder of the foundation. And if you look behind us, please, if you can put the main banner back, you can, let's just put it there temporarily. Okay, if you look behind us, you see these multiple organizations who support us, and some of them, for this year, these are all of our partners, and some of them are financial partners, while some support us with goodwill, with, for instance, the Lagos Blood Transfusion Service is a partner, but not with funding, but with blood. But the blood that we have with them, because we partner with them to be able to get people to donate blood prior to the event. So as I speak right now, I think we have about 300 people who have donated blood before now. And the Lagos State Blood Bank has been around to then bank that for us. And during the event, they will supply it to us. So part of our own advocacy is to go to different places and ask people to donate blood. We use the platform of the Elevation Church, for instance. Being a partner, a financial partner, we can always approach the Elevation Church to say, can your members donate blood? And we have close to 300 members of the Elevation Church who have donated blood towards this event. So apart from getting funding from the Elevation Church, we get blood. So I'm just using the Elevation Church as an example of a partner and what we get from our partner. So from the Elevation Church, we get funding, we get blood. Coca-Cola, for instance, giving us water, and drinks. They're not giving us money, but water and drinks for all of our volunteers and the people who have come, because people will come and sit for a few hours. They have to be able to drink. They have to be able to, we don't want to treat them anyhow. We want to be able to meet their needs. So they are partners in that regard. So you see organizations like MedPlus, like the different hospitals that are here. Our main partner hospital for this year is ATS Clinics, who will then be yielding their hospital to us for 1 whole week to use. A major part of the hospital will be shut down for our purpose. Different years we've had different hospitals who are able to do that in partnership with us. So these are the kind of partnerships we enjoy. And also the medical personnel, we only cater to the transportation and accommodation and feeding. They don't charge us. We have a number of doctors, for instance, who are well-meaning Nigerians who want to give back. And some of them are even in the diaspora. This year, I think by Friday, we're welcoming how many doctors from the US? 9 doctors from the US. This Saturday, they'll be flying in. They are, astute professionals, just like Dr. Femi that you have here. Dr. Femi is a very senior medical practitioner. He always shows up, not just at the press conference, but at the event itself to carry out surgeries and all that. And these are things that cost millions of naira in the major hospitals where these doctors work across the country. Doctors were flying in from the east, from the north. These are Nigerians who just want to give back. We have been able to create a platform for them to engage the type of people that they want to give back to. And so it's a lot of collaborative effort that eventually reduces what it costs to attend to one person. And the PISTIS Foundation remains a vehicle and a platform to be able to galvanize all this effort from funders, from other organizations, the medical practitioners, and the other professionals who are here on the high table, a lot of them also volunteering their time to be able to run the organization. So this is the the way the engine works. And I hope you get to appreciate the diversities of effort that gets into this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Quickly, before I take the next question here, I want to quickly take a question from the online audience. And the question is, beyond access to healthcare for non-Christians, what other rooms for partnership with non-Christians are available with Ubomi?
Our partnership engagement people may say one or two more things about it, but just to clear the ground for this question is that what I just said now, the way I answered the last question, I think should have opened, should have answered this question, because this one was saying that we should put religion aside completely and not be overwhelmed by the fact that, maybe the chair of the board is a pastor or a church is backing the organization or the outreach. The organization itself is interfacing with the world as a non-religious organization. That's the way we interface. So there's no discrimination based on religion. And the partnerships that we get, we're also open to partnership from any organization and any individual who has enough conscience to want to give back and engage philanthropy. So if a Muslim gives us money, we will accept it. If different organizations that are not faith-based organizations decide to partner with us, we will accept their partnership, because what we're doing is to humanity, not religion.
Great. Thank you. I believe that answers the question. So we'll take the next question.
My name is Suleiman Husseini. I'm from New Telegraph newspaper. My question goes thus. Beside this laudable Ubomi outreach, what are the other projects PISTIS Foundation have on ground or have been doing? Can you please give us some details, please?
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir, for the question. Well, earlier on, Mr. Akinlabi highlighted our key focus areas, being health, education, and shelter. And Ubomi, medical and surgical outreach, is a flagship under the health initiative of the foundation. The other programs that we do are largely under education and shelter. We have a shelter for homeless children that has run successfully for about 3 years, right? We piloted with 23 children. We work with the state government to manage those children. It's a structure that has been put together to nurture, train, and raise, responsible, citizens in the society. So the children come in from the streets, very raw. By that I'm talking about, kids who are unrefined. They don't know what it means to read ABC. They come into the shelter, we train them, we take them, place them in schools, private schools, after, of course, homeschooling them for a period, because not every school will be able to accept them just immediately, right? We place them in academic schools, private schools, and, we train them there from primary to tertiary, right, institutions. Of course, because they're strict kids, a few of them, if not most of them, actually have guardians around, or parents, or single parents still accessing them. Of course, the state government also monitors the welfare of the children. We're at the point of scale where we are now trying to set up a bigger structure that not only caters to children, but also adults that are homeless, right? You know, the whole idea is to be able to set up a stopgap, of course, that will not only train them or allow them to come in and stay briefly, but also train them, right, in certain skills, you know, because we see that when people, you know, increase or sharpen their skills, they increase in value, right? Because a lot of the times, those who are on the underserved or the bottom of the pyramid are people who usually are, you know, they don't have a basic skill that can, you know, address their daily needs, right? So that's one arm of what we do, or one program that we do under the shelter. Under education, for example, we have children in our scholarship program, currently in 5 states, Delta State, Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Benue, you know, and we're scaling as I speak. All of these children are, you know, in private schools, apart from those in the university. So the whole program is designed in such a way that allows children to come in at primary school, you know, at primary level, and we train them all through university, right? And that, of course, is not small in any way, especially because 95 to 98% of these children are in private schools. We all know the cost of private institutions, you know, placing children in private institutions in the country. But the whole idea is because we don't want to compromise on quality. We recognize the standards, you know, of education in the country, you know, depleting, and we see the need to ramp up in that area. So these are a few of the programs that we do under, you know, the other arms of PISTIS Foundation. And I hope that responds to your question.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. I'll take another question from the online audience. And it said it's directed at the medical partner. I believe that is Dr. Femi. The question is, over the years, what is the most prominent key health challenges identified in the communities served by Ubomi, and that beyond the curative measures done by the outreach, what I think what the person is trying to say is what, you know, preventive measures does Ubomi help people? I think this would be around advisory role to help guard against these illnesses. So the first question is, what are the most prominent key health challenges identified in the communities served by Ubomi, and what steps is the foundation taking to help prevent this, maybe in terms of advice? I think that's the question. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, but I can at least speak to the cases we see that we can speak about. As to the community, I'll let Mr. Thomas answer that. So prominently, you know, common ailments, because usually what you see in the in any health facility, which we can call Ubomi a kind of health facility also, is a mirror of what happens in the community. So the common cases you find in communities like malaria, childhood infections, and so on. But particularly for surgeries, because we are somewhat, let me use the word carefully, limited by what we can do in such a setting. So the cases we see for surgeries, hernias, fibroids, you know, lumps of various kinds. So those are the common things. But of course, as the vision grows and the hospital setting starts to come in, then a lot more will be doable at these kinds of programs. And then I'll hand over to...
Maybe I should just add something to what Dr. Femi said. In the optometry and the dentistry side, which are also things that we're used to in the community, the issue of cataract and the fact that generally I don't think Nigerians are very aware of dentistry issues at all until it has escalated to almost not having teeth again. So you see quite a number of people who just think that because it's not life-threatening and maybe it's not paining them, it's not an issue until they come and they find out that somebody actually says, I can do something about it. And the interesting part of this is that for ProHealth, our technical partners, they have very wonderful medical volunteers, especially in dentistry. They delight in helping people to smile better. so you see them even asking people that, no, we can do something about this, your teeth. And these are things that people think really don't matter, but at the end of the day, they leave smiling, they leave feeling good about themselves. And the same thing with cataract. As a pastor, I'm used to praying for people, for God to heal them. But when you see the number of people that shows up, especially with almost maybe completely blind or blind in one eye, and at the end of the day, they are all seeing. It's like a miracle. It's like what we see on crusade ground. It's just that now it's more predictable, in the sense, because it's science. It's not spiritual, if I put it that way, because one is limited to people's faith and the move of God per time, while one is based on science and also the help of God. And we see it happen, so quickly, and you're just surprised at what science can do. So all these things are the things that we engage year in, year out, and they are offshoots of our community, the things that are prevalent around here.
Thank you, sir. Additionally, and this is based on data that we have collected over the years at PISTIS Foundation, when we host the Ubomi outreach, right, we have noticed a continuous rise, for example, under surgical cases in fibroid, right, amongst women. In fact, the data that we have sometimes, is staggering, right? To the point that after each outreach, we have, a lot of women, putting their data down for the next Ubomi, right? And Ubomi happens once in a year. Like as I speak, from last year's outreach, we had over 100 women who had written their names down just for fibroid cases, waiting for this year's Ubomi, right? In fact, we also noticed that followed by fibroid cases is hernia. And, after we noticed these cases, I think about 2 or 3 years ago, by the second Ubomi, we made a decision to do a walk for hernia, right? Because we, from research, found out that not many people were aware of the issue that surrounds hernia, how to prevent it, how to live with it, or how to, address the issue, right? Not live with it, So, that walk for hernia created awareness in that area. In fact, it was in that walk, because we also had medical experts coming, in a room after the walk to speak to everyone who did the walk about hernia, that I found out that hernia affects both male and female, because before then we thought it was only a male ailment. So there's a lot of data that we also collect from these issues in terms of the cases that we deal with during the outreach, right? Mr. Akinlabi had rightly spoken to, eye cases. Top of the list usually is the cataracts case, or cataracts, followed by pterygium, right? And maybe I'll land with this. So Mr. Dr. Owagbemi had mentioned about the kind of surgeries that we do during Ubomi. We're largely focused on primary and secondary health care. I'm sure that most of us, if not all of us, are aware that there are largely three. There's primary, secondary, and tertiary. We're mindful of, the need to, we're mindful of the need to be careful when it comes to tertiary healthcare. We're scaling in the future. We plan to have a hospital where we'll be able to address all cases. Cases like, orthopedic surgery, people who have bone marrow issues. We have doctors flying into the country and volunteer their services for free, especially for those who are really in need and they cannot afford those kind of, treatments. Thank you very much.
Sorry, just to add, because he asked the question around sustenance and preventive, right? So as an operational thing that happens in PISTIS, we usually hold these webinars. So Ubomi comes and it goes. However, the health team holds webinars. Topics that are picked are things that have come out of Ubomi or throughout the years, the growing trends. So you'd see that there are these quarterly webinars where we bring in experts who are driving advocacy, who are telling people literally how to. So how do you prevent this? What do you do to stop that? That's happening. And then the communications team also uses the social handles of Ubomi, social handles of PISTIS to drive conversations all year round. So we don't come and do Ubomi and go. There's that full year ongoing conversations where we take burning issues and we begin to dissect and dimension them in the way that our target audience will understand. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that response. In the interest of time, we'll take 2 more questions. I think we should let, before you ask yours, let's just take someone that has not asked previously, and then, if not asked, oh, okay, all right.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Olusegun Rafael. I work with the Nation newspaper. My question, doctor has already addressed one of my questions, because if my question was to be on the hospital, that what is the projection? The PIS2 is preparing to have an hospital, but he has already addressed that. And the other question is on the expenses spent over the years. So can we have like total amount spent over the last 4 years and your projection to be spent this year? And also, you made a projection that we will attend at least to 5,000 people. But what is your preparation? What if your people comes more than what you expect? What is your preparation to attend to those?
Okay, I will speak to your first question and allow management to speak to your second question. The first question about what we have spent over the years, I'll tell you categorically that it's actually quite difficult to estimate, and I will explain. There is what is spent, but there is the actual spent, which is difficult to estimate. So let me give you an example. Let's say a particular year we were able to do 100 fibroid, hernia, and all that surgery. We did maybe another 100 cataract operation or something like that. When you put it to how much those things actually cost and all the other interventions, truth is that you may be getting to talking in terms of everything together is in billions. But when you bring it down to how much it costs, putting every effort and all the monetary and non-monetary, then it becomes difficult. The only way we can estimate is what we are doing, how much will it cost if we haven't done all the... So sometimes we're able to bring that to an actual spend, maybe 10% of that. Like this year now, we're definitely going to be spending well over 100 million naira. But in actual, maybe you say 1.5 billion worth of, that will have been the cost of all the intervention if you put it together. So that is the way it works. Because there are many things that happen that we cannot quantify in naira and kobo. If we do, our cost just keeps ballooning. Like I was talking about, all our medical volunteers, if you want to put cost to their time, if someone like Dr. Femi is in surgery for 2 hours, you know how much that will be because he's a consultant. Am I saying the truth? Yeah. So, and you have lots of them consultants coming in like that, and it's for free. And we cannot just be taking glory for that. So if we now tell you this cost us 2 billion, and you think it's coming from us, that will be, that won't be a true statement. So it's difficult to answer your question in Naira and Kobo. That's the point I'm trying to make.
So, thank you, sir. Additionally, I know you spoke to about 2 or 3 other issues, Ubomi Hospital, in terms of the timing for setup, and as well as, I think, the impact of Ubomi. Is there any other one I missed out? Sorry? Yes. Okay, yes. So the reality is, right, while we our target for this year is 5,000, the reality is we always have more people show up, right? Unfortunately, because it's a 5-day program, what typically happens is that our technical partners do this across the country, right? This year, to the best of my knowledge, they've done about, close to about 10. So what happens is that they're able to say, okay, once you are not able to meet this particular, outreach, your needs were not met, you can move to the next outreach. I hope I'm communicating right clearly. So, but the reality is that we're not able to attend to all the cases. That is the reality, because the needs, the demand for healthcare is much more than, what's the word I'm looking for now? There's demand and supply than the supply, all right? So I know I wanted to also speak in addition to what you talked about, sir, regarding the impact. So there's what we do at PISTIS Foundation. After each Ubomi, we have what you call the Ubomi Impact Report. You can actually access it on our website, www.pistisfoundation.org. You can download the one even for last year. That report pretty much details the kind of ailments that were treated or that will be treated, especially in this year's Ubomi, we'll have that report done. In that report, we also have what you call depth and breadth of impact, right? Because, impact, when, you measure impact, is not just the breadth. There's also the depth. And that's why Mr. Akinlabi was saying that, it's even when you measure the amounts that we spend, we cannot quantify it. For example, this year we have about close to 10 medical doctors coming in from America, right? And that, of course, is benefiting the Nigerian economy in a sense, because they have to pay for their airfare. They have to, cater to, a number of other things within the country. And they are coming in to render their services for free. And these are people who are serving in some of the finest hospitals in America. I hope that, addresses that issue. But in terms of other areas, in terms of impact, especially in the health needs of the people, those who actually come and access this care. For example, if someone comes into Ubomi and they're not able to see at all, right? Naturally, because they are not able to see, they will require some form of, support system at home, right? They are not able to, go to their daily work, or they are not able to cater to their daily needs. Once they're able to now see, right, that support system is liberated, right? That person is now able to add value to not just their immediate family, but to the society at large, right? So it's really difficult to quantify the impact, even in Naira and Kobo, or the impact in terms of, the needs that are being met, because it not only affects one person, but the community as a whole. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. We'll accommodate one more question as, is there still someone that wants? Okay.
Good afternoon. Please, I want to ask, does this healthcare cater for the disabled people? And also, I would like to know, you said you started this project in 2018. And I would like to know your major challenges as a particular experience you had while starting up this foundation, and what your experience is like and how you're able to, that have kept you running for these past years. And also, I want to know your, the company's principles and core values. Thank you.
Thank you. Before you leave, could we have your name and
Okay,
media
my name is Ebere from the Independent newspapers.
Okay, so she asked about the challenges.
Yeah, the challenges.
And but there was a question before that that we're not able to capture.
Disabled people.
Oh, okay, the disabled people. Like we said before, Ubomi is open to everyone. There are many people who are brought in. So you have people who maybe suffer one or two disabilities. We don't discriminate against them. The important thing is that they have somebody who can bring them in and maybe stay with them to help them manage their movement whilst they're going through whatever medical intervention that they want to access. That's that about disabled people. When you talk in terms of challenges, I'll say a major challenge is that of being able to access the right kind of facility with which we can have the outreach. But over the years, we're grateful to God that we have been able to get requisite partners, the kind of partners that we need, because, I mean, we've used all kinds of medical facilities, including government facilities. The Mother and Child Hospital in Ogombo, that's, I mean, through the Lagos State government, you know, because when we hold this outreach, it's like taking the entire facility and shutting it down for 5 straight days to be able to cater to people. So not many, especially now that you have a lot of private hospitals everywhere, and those private hospitals get private funding to start. So if you want to shut them down for a whole week, it means that they may not make money for that time. They also will have to factor it in as their philanthropic effort. And so that means that we can't be coming every year because they're in business to make money. So we have to look for different partner hospitals at different year. And that's why we also feel one of the ways to solve this problem is to have our own medical facility. But whilst we're still grappling with that, every year we have a major challenge that we have to solve. The only thing is that we have not been left stranded any year. But is it a challenge? Yes, it's a challenge. Because we have to, when you have to do something every year again, talk to a particular partner, look for another partner. Like now, for next year, we're already considering other partners so that if ATS clinic that we're partnering with this year are not available to release a facility next year, we have to look for another hospital, to be able to do that. So we're already in talks with another hospital for next year, just as a backup. And we have to keep doing that until we have a place that we can call our own, that we can use at any time. And our dream is also to be able to do the outreach more than once a year. Yeah. But that will only be possible if we're able to solve this particular challenge of a medical facility. Thank you. What has kept us going? It's our belief in the fact that people we must give value. Let me just put it that way. We must enhance, Ubomi itself means life. Yeah. Like giving life. Yeah. That we must continue to give life. Just like God gives us life every day, the sun rises, life comes to us. So we also must continue to represent that or model that to other people. And, the encouragement from it is that you'll be surprised to know that Nigerians are very humane. Yeah, it's just that a lot of Nigerians are suffering, and in the midst of their suffering, they still want to give back. Yeah, as Africans, we're very connected. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying, and we love to touch other people's lives. That's our discovery, and that's also a motivation for us. See, all the medical professionals that keep yielding their time, it's because they want to give back. So it's a motivation for us as well to keep the platform running so that people can plug into that platform. It's not easy to build an organization. We built the PISTIS Foundation over the years with solid structures and solid people. And it has created opportunity for other well-meaning Nigerians to be able to plug in and deploy their gift and deploy the value that they have. So these things have been very encouraging to us, that if we pack this up, there are many people who are looking for how to contribute their quota. They will not, whatever they have will not find expression. I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, sir. And honestly, a good thank you once again to the gentlemen of the press for making this session a very engaging one and even unlocking a lot of interesting responses from the speakers on the table. As we wrap up for today, we'll take concluding remarks from Ms. Sowari in a few minutes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Besides extending our gratitude for your presence here, I think a few things as takeaways for everyone here, and I continue to reiterate it. There's one doctor for 10,000 people. It's a cause for worry. I think living here, let's begin to reflect as individuals, as organizations, how we want to change that narrative. The change that we need has to start from us. Partnerships, again, when I interact with people and we're soliciting for partnerships, they say to me, we don't have money. However, as an individual, you have a phone, you have a contact list, right? It's taking that message and spreading it within your networks. The change starts with an individual. So my encouragement here is for people of the press, the media is a key driver to positive change. How do you join us in this journey to drive the positive change and create impact? I would really, really like to invite you to come in for the Ubomi. Come and see. Sometimes it's not in the talking, it's in the seeing. When you see elderly people who come in and it's a very emotional thing. I would really, really encourage everyone, if you can take out 1 hour of your time within the 5 days to come and see the need that needs, the problem that needs to be solved, right? So guys, I'm going to take your numbers and we'll really, really like to see you there. The other thing is for us to, it's also a call to action for well-meaning organizations. There's a problem that needs to be solved. There are also conversations to say, hey, I'm a bank, I don't have, I'm not a subject matter expert on health. And that's why PISTIS Foundation is there. We've built muscle over the last 4 years. Ubomi is something that we know how to do well. Thankfully, we have very competent technical partners. So if there are organizations out there as well who want to do this thing, who want to drive these things, but don't have the right partners, PISTIS Foundation is there. We're an ethical organization. We put our money where our mouth is, and we have the integrity to drive all of the KPIs that we set out from the beginning. I will also ask that you please go to our website. All of our impact reports are there. The videos, the testimonials from recipients, the before and after pictures, everything that you need to validate what you've heard here is published on our website, on our social media handles as well. You would see all the information that you need. Finally, thank you to everyone who is on this side of the table. Thank you, Dr. Femi. And we're going to do great work from the 30th of September to the 4th of October. Lives will be impacted people's destinies will be changed, families. So again, there's that data. When you help one person, you're helping an extended family. With Ubomi, we aim to ensure that one life extends to 20, 30 other people. Yeah, thank you very much, and have a safe drive back to your destinations. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to bring the press conference for Ubomi 2024 to a close, and offer sincere gratitude to everyone who has made to this event a success, from the distinguished speakers on the high table, the gentlemen of the press present, and also the different partners who are supporting the good work of Ubomi. And I would also like to state that, the whole event does not end here. It's very important. September 30th to October 4th, we'll be having the real outreach itself. And we encourage everyone to be a part of that and continue to contribute to the good work in different ways you can, with spreading the message as the media, and also opening doors for future collaborations and also partnerships. So thank you once again for making our time to be here. We wish everyone a good day and a safe trip to their different abode. Thank you very much. We'll bring the press conference to a close, and we'll take media pictures after this now. Thank you once again. The pictures, do you want to make some arrangement? Let them. You want to take out the tables? Yes, let's.